the user defined statement. So whatever the user has defined, we have to convert that into machine code. So this program will give you an equivalent code for only 3 address form. If you have only for the 3 address form, it will give you the output. So starting from our code here, preprocessor directives and header files. So we are taking few arrays. You may ask why this, why do we need arrays for? We want the result, that is A. Then we have some operator, right? So argument 1 and argument 2 are nothing but, in case here I have argument 1 and argument 2. If I consider this itself as 1, so this C will be argument 1, D will be argument 2, and we also have an operator. So basically we are using an array to store all these informations. So first things first, here I have to consider one input from the user. So from the command line arguments. So here what exactly we are looking for from the command line argument is a text file, right? So what will be the, what could be the text file, you may ask. So what exactly is a text file here? The text file is nothing but the 3 address format, right? So this will be your input, which will be in that particular file. So here we are opening the input.txt. That means, what is this input.txt? Input.txt is already present, and what will be there in that input.txt? In that input.txt, this complete 3 address form will be there. In other words, the user defined format will be there. This particular triplet statement which our user has written has to be converted into what? 3 address form. And where will that be? You have to convert it and you have to put it in output.txt. Here, in order to deal with this input file and as well as with the output file, we have 2 pointers, that is fp1 pointer, fp1 and pointer fp2, 2 pointer to take care of it. So input will be opened in which format? It will be opened in read format. Similarly, output will be opened in which format? In write format. So it is, that's exactly the syntax actually. We need a pointer equated with fopen, which is the file which it needs to open, that name, and in what mode it has to open. So it has to open in read mode or write mode. So I guess till here we don't have any issues. The next following is this particular statement. If I encounter an end of file, end of file, that means if I don't have any elements in a file, then EOF usually gives us that we don't have anything in that particular file. That is 45, 4F, 46 is what the value for EOF. Similarly, if file is empty, then what does it show? We need to check that whether the file is empty or not. If it is empty, then you straight away come down here, then you close the file fp1 and fp2 and straight away you come out. That means no output will be given. If in case there is something, if there is something in that particular file, so yes, that means if I don't have a file end of file, that means I have something of in my fp1. You analyze it, you scan, you get the information of those values. What are those values which you are getting now? First thing is, whenever you are scanning, you need a file pointer. That means in that file pointer will be pointing to which file we are dealing with, and with the mode which is in the read mode, that means you can fetch the information. So as I told you, the statement will have result, result. The next one was argument 1, operator, and argument 2. This is the format. All right. So those, whatever you get here, these format will be saved here according to the strings which you see. According to the strings which you see. So what is the first string here? The first string which you are sent is A. So that A string will be stored in result. And the next one is with respect to the argument. So what is the argument here? Minus B. Followed by you have some operator, that is start. And again you have another argument which is followed by the next one, the complete program. So here, if in case you check it out, what type of operator we have. So if the operator is plus, then we follow this format. That means we will be putting these particular statements into one particular output file and we work on it. So what is, if I have a plus as an operator, here I have a star, but still here I have a plus operator anyhow. For this plus operator, this will be the argument 1, this will be the argument 2. If it is a plus, then it identifies as a plus, and look down, look out here, only this statement is needed, that's it, add, right? So move whatever you have in the argument 1 to R1 or not. So whatever you have in the argument 2, you make it as add with R0, and the other one is you have some result that you are moving. Okay, so basically you're adding and moving. So if this case is only if I have a addition operator. Similarly, if I have a multiplication operator, then you have a mul. For subtraction, you have a subtract. For division, you have a div. If in case you are assigning something, if there is an equal to, then you don't do much. You straight away move the argument, whatever you have, to the result. All right. So very simple program. Let me add few more statements here. So what do you do if I have C plus D? If I have C plus D, that means this is argument is C, then I have some value. So initially I have what? Minus B. So let's go to minus here. Where is minus? So over here. So my operator is minus. So I have B. So next what happens? Subtract with the value with whatever you have in the argument. Then you store that result. So what do you have in that result? All right. So simple for the first time, C plus D, whatever you have. Sorry, before what do you have? We start from minus B, right? So move minus B to whichever register is free. Initially, it starts from R0. So R0 will be free. So move minus B to R0. Then what do you see? R0 to T1, because that's the first argument here which I see. So that is the first intermediate code. So T1 will be equal to minus B. That's what you see here. Move T1 to R0. What do you have in R0? In R0 I have B. Not just B, I have negative B. All right. So this complete term will be called as now T1. Similarly, then I go to the other one, that is C plus D. So what is C? C is one variable, D is one variable. So what I need to do? Push C into the R0 value, because R0 register is now free. Push C into R0, then add whatever the contents which you have in R0 with D. That's what you see here. Add whatever you have with the contents of register R0 with D. So what do I get? I get C plus D value which I have. Store it in T2. That means you have to move this value of R0 to T1. Okay, so we now have this T1 and this as the value T2, right? So moving that R0 to the T2, followed by okay, this I have T1 and this I have T2, which is ready. But what is the operator which we have? We have star. So which operation with which registers I have to deal with it? First move T1 to R0, whatever the contents which you have in R0. Then multiplication, whatever you have contents of R0 with the contents of T2, right? Multiply with the contents of T2. That's what this statement says. Once you have those value multiplied, then you have to save these two values, that is T1 into T2, right? So you have to save it in one value, that is T3. That means that value will be present in R0, that is the multiplied value. That R0 value we have to store it in the temporary value or memory, that is T3. Then you have this result assigned with the particular the temporary memory, that is T3. So T3 will be moved to R0, and R0 will be assigned to A. This is how exactly the program works. So don't forget to create a particular file, that is input.txt, and that particular file should be present. With what? With the particular statement or the valid statement. All right. If that particular statement is not there, this particular program will not do anything. It will straight away come out of it. All right. Anyhow, so once it comes out, it's your duty as a programmer to close the particular files, so that you close the file pointer 1 and you close the file pointer 2, and yeah, of course, get a character is where the pointer or the cursor will be waiting for some time, so that you can once you press any key, it will be waiting for one key so that you can view the output. As simple as that. All right, so that's it with the program 5. Thank you, guys.